Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the Beyond the Summit coverage of the Artifact Bitcoin League. We are going to be watching Group B. Group B features 4-player. We got Game King versus Prismatism.
Prismaticism.
Thank you.
And I can only pronounce that name because there was a Heroes of the Storm player named Prismaticism.
Oh, do you know if that's the same person?
I highly doubt it.
Okay. And then we got dpmlicious versus Rayzo. Now, I do believe that they are going to be playing the matches separately. So, DPM, I believe, is slated to go first against Rayzo. And we got Game King versus Prismaticism coming up next. I'm Luminous. Joining me is Zex. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. It's a cold day out here in Indiana, so we're just a leisurely day for us.
Well, hopefully some artifact action will heat things up. We got we're just waiting. I don't know when the matches are actually begin. They should begin at 3 p.m. PST, which we are at right now.
Yeah, well, delays happen. I mean, we've all experienced delays in whatever game we choose to play. Always that one guy in Dota chess who decides that I'm going to decline over and over and over.
Alright, I think we're waiting on DPM right now. Our Chinese player Rayzo is ready to go. So I guess I could tell you guys a little bit about some of our players. DPM recently finished top 8 in the OGA Pit tournament. Game King, I don't think I've heard from him in a while. I think he strikes me more as a constructed player. So I haven't seen how he does in draft tournaments. Of course, this is a draft tournament. All the players have already drafted their decks. And this is a GSL group stage. So we got at least 5 rounds of games coming our way. We could actually watch the drafts, but don't want to miss the game actually starting.
Yeah, so watching like players' thought processes and stuff like that, you know, play out as they're drafting is always fun. Sometimes they'll think of they want to go with a certain color, but then they start getting really bad pulls for, let's just say, for argument's sake, blue. They don't get a whole lot of good blue cards, and then they have to veer off in a different direction, which is usually indicated by if they're drafting like one of the basic heroes,
or randoming a hero and then forced to play a basic hero.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Though some of the basic heroes aren't that bad for draft, in my opinion.
I think all 4 of the basic heroes are actually playable. I've played with them quite a bit. Looks like DPM's queuing out, and we're now waiting on Rayzo. I got the tournament team chat going up. Ironically, Rayzo was the one that was saying go. And now we are waiting on him. Oh, we can actually look at the decks. I don't know why we're just randomly sitting here. But the match has begun, so we will look at the deck once we're inside. And here we go. Let's get the show on the road. It's going to be... Well, we can't look at anything until the first plate is made. Looks like we got dpmlicious on the upper half and Rayzo on the bottom. I already see an oath in hand, so far I'm already liking what Rayzo's got going.
And looking at DPM's hand, she's drafted a Ramesk Blessing, and I feel like she's probably going to go creep heavy this game with this deck. Defend the weak. That's a nice solid card for creep trade.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched a lot of kind of draft games, generally how blue-green plays out is that it doesn't really do anything strong for a couple of turns, except they flood the board very well. So the creep strategy is going to be DPM's game plan. And cards like Remesk Blessing, which allows you to buff a lane by +3 health, is really nice for that. Meanwhile,
she's definitely got a good card draw with the double Foresight in her hand. Ooh, a Prelix.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rayzo looks like he's playing some sort of blue-black aggro. So blue in this color is also gonna, or in this deck rather, is also gonna give you the creep generation ability. But Rayzo is looking to end the game relatively quickly with things like Oath and Ogolodi Vando.
Yeah, for sure. And with that Heartstopper aura, it's gonna kind of put a kibosh on any kind of creep pressure. That 2 piercing damage to his neighbors. I mean, it can't be underestimated. And we see the him draw a Disciple, which will pair nicely with that Oath.
Yeah. So Disciple and Oath are the cards that we keep referring to. As they play, we'll mention it, but this creep allows you to give your entire board +2 attack at the exchange of -2 armor. So it's very, very strong for going for a one big push, but you got to be very careful because you do leave yourself quite exposed. Rayzo now thinking between his numerous 4-mana cards. We got the Tyler Estate Censor, which is a 2/8 creep that shrinks their mana pool, but instead he opts for the Ogolodi Vando, which when you play it, it deals 4 direct damage to the tower.
Yeah, he may be saving that that sensor for the mid lane. Because the blue hero is there, and that's where a lot of momentum is going to start building if DPM is allowed to do whatever she wants in that mid lane.
Actually, if he does not play the sensor, which he does, DPM would have been able to play Foresight, and in combination with Static Field, that would have dealt the 1 extra damage to Necro, which would have allowed it to kill it in combat. So that actually worked out really well for Rayzo there.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting play here, the Heartstopper aura.
I think the Heartstopper aura, which is ability to modify your hero. So now this Debbie will always have the ability to deal 2 AoE damage next to your enemy unit. I feel like anytime you could play Heartstopper aura, you should. Even though if you don't get to play on Necro, which is generally the best target to play on, I think it's still good enough.
Yeah, the synergy with Necro and Heartstopper aura is really good. Being able to regenerate or build health off of those Heartstopper kills is something to be not underestimated.
Yeah, so let's actually look at both players' decks. This is going to be a best-of-3 match, so even if we don't see some of the cards, we should be very aware of what is in the deck. For example, dpmlicious is going to have to be very aware of an Annihilation, especially because she's playing this kind of gold Y strategy. She has to be very careful committing all of her creeps into a single lane and then getting blown up. By the way, we have detailed that it is the same person. Prismaticism is the same. You said it was a Hero of the Storm professional player?
Really? It is the Prismaticism. That's really interesting to me. Wow. Okay, so the previous play, DPM intimidated Debbie into the right lane, and I feel like, and got the lucky arrow onto. Is that Draven? I forget his name.
Farvin.
Darvin the Dreamer.
No, Farvin with the F.
Farvin.
Yeah.
It got the arrow, so Debbie's getting that bonus damage in that right lane on Farvin.
Yeah.
So, unlucky.
Ooh, very aggressive play here, and that's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Entire board hitting for a lot more, and the fact that he went for it is pretty good because he knows that DPM is out of mana currently. So, and now the cunning plan into the Zeus, so that will guarantee the Zeus kill. You definitely want to pick off the blue hero, especially when you're playing this aggressively, because blue is a color that allows you to AoE your way back into the game.
That's not good for DPM here. She's looking to lose both her heroes. Throws out the anti-armor.
Okay.
Yeek.
So Gold Mine could come down here for Rayzo, and looks like it will. Gold Mine is an improvement, and basically it says every every turn after the combat, he'll get 3 more gold, which adds up to be quite a bit. I think over the course of a game, gold mine gives you about 10 to 12 gold, depending on how early you play it. So it's a pretty nice value card. And I think he has 3 copies of it in his deck. So it's actually rather pretty unlucky that he didn't draw one until now.
Yeah, definitely. The luck's not with him at the moment. Oh, we see a Blade of the Vigil come out, and I'm actually excited for the buff to that item. It's going to trade great with. It trades perfectly with creeps now. It's going to be really strong.
It's actually so amazing against DPM style of deck, right? Again, she's trying to spam creeps and keep them alive. And +4 cleave means you're able to kind of just kill them and prevent the board from going really, really wide. DPM on the previous turn was able to play Miss of Avernus, which is an improvement that buffs everyone's attack by 1 per turn permanently. This Enchantress looks like she will never be removed. Look at her. She's providing 2 armor to everybody. Every time you play a green card, she's providing 6 regen to everybody. Yeah, she is going to stay here for the long haul. And of course, she's getting +1 attack every turn. So this is going to be a very, very scary Enchantress.
Definitely that's a disgusting amount of regen, and that's really hard to break through. Oh, nice play to get the tower kill from Rayzo here.
Yep. I think normally I would say that's a very aggressive move and perhaps over-aggressive. But the fact that you could actually threaten 80 with this deck is quite nice.
Yeah, he's still sitting on an oath, so all that extra damage could be coming out in a hurry. He's got 3 heroes coming in, too, next turn, so he really could actually threaten 80 in a hurry.
Yeah. Now, the really awkward thing here for Rayzo is that we are at 7 mana, and that's important thanks to Thunder God's Wrath. And because of the Disciple of Nevermore providing -2 armor in this lane, if he doesn't put Necro here, Thunder God would just kill, right? Kill every one of his heroes. So let's see how he actually deploy, because right now Rayzo isn't winning the other 2 lane that much. So 80 seems like the game plan, but DPM is definitely respecting that and dumps at least 2 of those heroes into the lane.
Yeah, that's not the worst game plan. Oh, he's deciding that he's going to go right. So look for that. I think that O's going to come out on the right lane.
Yeah. If not right now, maybe a turn or 2 later.
Yeah, he might want to wipe up that Skywrath in the right lane first before dropping the Oath. So, but he's sitting on a... Oh, Echo Slam comes out.
Yep.
Or no, that was a Fissure. No, that was the Echo Slam.
That's an Echo Slam. Fissure is on the Earthshaker ability.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we have another Blade of the Visual, and looks pretty good to play here. Although, of course, with Soul Spring, any green card that DPM plays will provide her with a ton of regen. So again, this Enchantress is not really close to dying.
That's true. He probably could no accident her for... There you go. He did it right as I was saying it. He's gonna this should be able to kill the Enchantress. But he's got a couple of Prowler Vanguards, so it's possible he'll get that armor. No, he can't play it. He can't play both of them. He can only play in front of the Agladi.
Well, every time that DPM plays a green card, it will activate Soul of the Spring and gives her 4 regen. So she could definitely keep it alive, and she will. That also keeps this creep alive.
That's just... that's a beefy left lane for DPM. I don't really see her losing this anytime soon. She's got 3 more Prowlers, so she's not in any real danger of losing that Enchantress anytime soon.
Meanwhile, DPM has access to Mystic Flare. She'll fire off immediately. Kills a hero as well as a Disciple, but I think Rayzo's not too unhappy with the situation. He's already got the tower, and he forced DPM to deploy both her heroes in there. I gotta say, I think, personally, Rayzo's actually pretty far ahead right now.
Yeah, we see a Remote Detonation, and I feel like that's not a card we see very often. This could be pretty beneficial, but he just decides to wipe that lane out.
Yep.
We got a Farvin coming out next turn. Does he drop that in the right lane?
He has, or she has to, or she'll just die. Right now, already showing 28 damage. And of course, that's not counting in the Oath in hand. So I feel like Rayzo, barring from something crazy happening, should be able to take this game relatively easily. Because right now, keep in mind that DPM has not even scratched any of these towers. The lowest one being at 29 in the first lane. But it's going to take a little while before DPM is able to actually punch through.
Yeah, once again, that Enchantress in danger of being killed if DPM doesn't do anything in this lane. But all she's got to do is drop a Prowler and everybody's... Well, no, I think she dies this turn regardless.
Well, she could play 2 Prowler.
All the Prowlers.
All the Prowlers. I'm surprised that she did not play it on the right of Enchantress, which would have provided Enchantress 1 more armor. And this is actually important for cards like Quick Shot, or rather Hipfire or Pick Off, those 4 damage spells that would have been able to kill. Does he actually have any? Yeah, for example, Rayzo does have 1 in deck. It has a Pick Off as well. So I'm going to call that's a strict up misplay, because could have actually got the Enchantress killed.
Yeah, well, she'll also... Well, now she can't. That was a really smart no accident. Now that I think about it, from Rayzo, he took out that creep, and it would have prevented DPM from playing that extra Prowler to the right of Enchantress.
Right. Well, Rayzo doesn't know that there's an extra Prowler in hand, so... But still, it was smart to take out that creep.
Yeah.
Looks like we are going to have Aghanim Sanctum set up here, which what the card allows you to do is restore your mana. And we see a lot of Thunder Gods in hand, so we're going to see a parade of Thunder God, which will wear down these heroes on the right side.
Yeah, that... She's got another Mystic player. She can't really do that much in this lane. Farben in that right lane it's going to be taking a lot of damage.
Now, I think if DPM is able to win this game, it's going to come through with Bolt of Damocles. 10 mana, deal 20 to a tower. You do need to take 2 towers to win. And it looks like she will recall one of her heroes back out as well. Again, DPM not doing very well in the pushing department, but she's just looking to survive for now.
Let's see. Echo Slime won't do a whole lot here. We do see a Barracks in hand. So I'm curious if he's going to play that just yet.
Okay. DPM's going to pass with 8 mana, waiting for Rayzo to spend his mana first. Rayzo Barracks is going to go into the first lane. I mean, that first lane is relatively low as well.
Yeah, that's not the worst session. That extra creep will provide a very valuable blocker every turn.
Yeah.
So,
pretty lucky arrow here for DPM, drawing an insane amount of damage from Debbie.
I think DPM's gonna be focusing on that right lane, so not to lose it, because there is, like you just said, there is a lot of damage coming.
Yep.
Through that right lane, and the double creep spawn as well is really nice.
The issue is that she also has to worry about the left lane now, thanks to the Barracks being deployed. Looks like Prelix is going to go in there. And Prelix is also going to generate a couple of creeps.
And he's still sitting on this Oath. We're at 9 mana, and he's still got this Oath. So I'm wondering if he's thinking about putting that Oath in the left lane next turn when Debbie comes back from the fountain.
I think the one thing about Oath that a lot of beginner players need to remember is that once you have it activated, yes, your entire board gets +4 attack, but you can't cast any more spells anymore. And if you don't have a guaranteed kill, chances are casting the Oath will lose you the lane if you don't get the tower kill yourself. So it is definitely extremely risky, and hopefully he'll be a little bit patient with it.
Yeah, he really should. And he's got that Echo, so he'll get a free bunch of damage as well. And he'll have the mana to do an Oath and an Echo Slam next turn, so we got to kind of see where DPM's going to play.
DPM's going to turn the game around. It's going to be double Thunder God's Wrath from the middle lane, so I do believe almost every single hero here will just get completely annihilated. That is 3 heroes dead. Shaker is going to be the only hero alive on the right lane. Pretty great turn here for DPM.
She's really turning this around. She's got plenty of damage in hand, and she's still got a foresight and an arcane assault. So if she needs to hold on to initiative, she's got that right in hand. She's not in any real danger of losing that.
Yep. All of a sudden, this 28 health looks pretty healthy currently. We're going to see a Tower Barrage come out to pick off the green hero. And the arrow from Earthshaker is actually currently threatening the Skywrath Mage.
Looks... That's a nice cloak.
Yep.
I tend to think in terms of how can I stop the other person with damage rather than how can I stop them with health, which is, I will admit, a failing of mine.
Yeah, health item's pretty good. Looks like DPM could continue to stabilize this lane by playing Dimensional Portal, and even draw a couple of cards if she needs, and of course grab back initiative, like you mentioned with Arcane Assault. She's got a lot of options, and again, for one of these towers, her goal is to get them to around 20 health, so she could finish things off with Bow of Damocles.
Yeah, and dropping a Dimensional Portal as well as a...
No, Shaker's just out of here.
Yeah, he pieced on out of there, so she's going to be able to get this tower into that 20 range here eventually, probably next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this tower is as good as it's dead, which is okay for Rayzo. He's still got 2 heroes coming back in, and I do wonder where would you go. I think the first lane makes the most sense, given that you have a Barraxer. But because you have Oath in hand, I honestly think that he could deploy those 2 heroes into any lane and have a pretty good time. And that is a Vestra the Tyrant from the Secret Shop. That is going to be pretty good.
God bless RNG in this game sometimes. It's going to really help out a lane.
I think he found the Vestra last turn and he was able to hold it. Because I definitely did see it from the shop last turn as well. I don't know whether he spent the gold to hold it. If he did, that was great play. If he didn't, good luck, you know. Either way, he has a Vestra in hand.
Yeah, I feel like it's always worth holding a Vestra the Tyrant if you see it pop up in the Secret Shop.
Assuming you're close enough for the gold.
Yeah. He's got a Tower Barrage. He's got a Gladi in hand, and a Heartstopper Aura. I don't like the positioning of that Debbie, though.
Well, there is Echo Slam to clear blockers up. And there's 2 Oglodi in hand as well. These 2 Oglodi represents 8 more damage to the face. Meanwhile, DPM only locked into playing green cards. For now, ooh, top decks a Dunderhide Alpha, or rather Dunderhide Pack. That is 14-14. And Rayzo needs to be very careful on how he navigates. If he just opened things up with the Echo Slam, he just passes. No, excuse me. He plays the Oglodi Vandal. And now it's on DPM's turn.
A shame that Shaker doesn't have boots. But really, do you think that DPM will drop that Thunderhide now?
I think the fact that DPM has not seen a single Echo Slam, she cannot. Because if she drops Thunderhide and then you get Echo Slam, you actually just lose the game right now. So she needs to be extremely careful.
It's a great point. With you saying that, I really think Rayzo here is sitting pretty well. We see nice. Okay, I like this red mist coming out from a DPM. That's going to give that 5 extra siege, despite being, blocked with that siege mechanic.
Yeah, her goal right now is to get this tower low enough so that the next turn when she plays Thunderhide, she could punch through and win. And you can see that both players are essentially just passing, because I think the first player to act here will lose. Actually, with that said, never mind about the whole Echo Slam. Rayzo, by playing the Oglodi, he no longer can Echo Slam.
That's true. He's at 6 mana, so Heartstopper Aura will come out instead.
So Thunderhide should be played, honestly. Yeah, and it will be played. I'm surprised that Thunderhide was played on the right instead of on the left, because on the left, would have had a chance to angle an arrow and kill the Debbie.
So, with just one play, DPM completely turns it around and is in quite the superior position at this point. She will win next turn if there's nothing that Rayzo can do about that Thunderhide.
Yeah. Now, there is 11 siege damage coming through, 6 from the Thunderhide and 5 from Enchantress, with 3 armor on the tower. So, if there are enough blockers for Rayzo, I think Rayzo can hold on. An interesting choice here to use a Mystic Flare to push for maybe 5-6 more damage. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, she's got another one in hand, so... But yeah, that was a very curious... Like, she can drop another Mystic Flare here if she wanted to, or she could just...
She's going to bolt here.
Yeah.
Or rather, she should bolt here. There's that bolt.
Brings down the hammer. And now it's all on Rayzo this turn.
Yeah, Rayzo needs to find a way to block that Thunderhide and push 15 damage of her own.
Yeah, he's got that barracks, so he'll have at least one blocker coming in. The question, well, he could just go all left.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
Which he will do. Also, he has initiative, and Shaker has fissure, so Shaker is going to be able to stun both of these green heroes, making Enchantress the only green hero left to cast cards. So far, it looks like Rayzo will survive.
Rayzo got a little unlucky there with the 2 creeps spawning in mid for DPM, so that Echo Slam not going to do as much damage as it could. Still going to do a fair chunk, but could have been better.
Yeah. So this is actually a very interesting game state. I think Rayzo, if he spends a lot of mana, DPM could answer right back with Mystic Flare, killing this 2/4 melee creep, and then chunking in for 5 more. So he needs to be really cognizant of that fact. Both players going to spend Potion of Knowledge to draw a couple of cards. And here comes Vanguard. Now, so Echo Slam currently now dealing 6 to everything, but not enough. 6 to everything. I think he needs 1 more damage. Because right now this Prowler Vanguard effectively has 7 health.
Right, but where do you get that extra damage from?
Yeah, I don't think he's getting that extra damage.
Tower Barrage essentially does nothing because that's 2 damage to every creep, and most everything has a lot more than 2 armor.
So if he oaths here, this guy will get in for 8. And Arcane Assault would get in for 2 more, so that would be a 10. So Oath plus Arcane Assault does not win. So he's going to opt to draw a couple more cards instead.
He just pulled that Annihilation, so if everything goes south, he could annihilate the lane because he's losing Prelix and Debbie this turn.
I just want to point out that DPM's deck is actually absolutely bonkers. She has 3 Mists of Avernus. This looks like... I mean, normally you'll be happy to have one of these cards in your deck. This card, if you play it on turn 1, you probably just win the lane. So DPM's going to use all of her mana, or rather, a lot of her mana to play more creeps. She can still play Mists of Avernus, and in fact, I'm pretty sure she will.
Yeah, I mean, or she could do the Verdant. Well, no, she can't even play Refuge. So yeah, Mists of Avernus seems the best play.
Also, earlier, I'm not sure what I was talking about by Rayzo needing to play around Mystic Flare. There is no blue hero on the lane, so there's no blue cards that he needs to play around.
Good point. Man, this game got... Rayzo was kind of running away with it in the start, and now DPM has done the typical blue deck and just stopped losing after, what, turn 7 mana?
Yep. This game could be in draw if Rayzo does not find a Slay. Rayzo has 1 copy of it in his deck.
He does have an Arcane Assault for the card draw right there. I think that's what he's searching for. He's got the last-ditch effort with the Annihilation.
I wonder if he would annihilate, because he does have Vesture the Tyrant here, right? So if he does annihilate, his hero comes back instantly.
Right, and he's got another Debbie coming back next turn as well. So there's an Echo Slam. So he's got 2 Echo Slams.
Honestly, it's not the worst annihilate. Maybe you just like Arcane Assault first, because you won't have your blue heroes back.
So here, hover remote detonation for me real quick.
Wait, Rayzo just passed.
What's he doing? What?
Oh, because he has lethal. He has lethal, yeah. And DPM doesn't, so there's no need for Rayzo to act. And I think DPM, her only play available now is playing a Prowler Vanguard, which will block a lot of the damage.
Yeah, but then in that case, I would see an Echo Slam come out from Rayzo.
Echo Slam does not kill.
Echo Slam. Oh no, Echo Slam doesn't really do anything because that creep has just an insane amount of armor.
Yep.
Unlucky.
So there you go. Echo Slam would deal 6, but this has 6 health and 1 armor. So he could test the water by flinging a no accident at it. And if DPM does not heal, you know, you could then Echo Slam.
I'm just trying to figure out how these players can use remote detonation because I want to see this card in action.
It's not going to be in action, at least not in this game. But Rayzo finds lethal here by playing another Uglodi Vandal, going over the green wall.
DPM really played pretty clutch there towards the end of that first game. Rayzo was just kind of running away with it, and then that double Thunder God's Wrath just kind of reset everything.
Yeah.
She had a pretty good chance to win that one, too.
I think the big thing, the 2 big things that happened to me in that game that I want to point out was DPM deploying both of her heroes into the middle lane when the tower was gone, respecting the 80. But what ended up happening is that one of those heroes were stranded there and essentially were not too useful after casting the double Thunder God. So I felt like DPM had a blue hero on the first lane, she would stand a much better chance winning. And the second thing is, of course, Rayzo finding a Vesture in the secret shop. So
yeah, that Vesture was pretty big.
The Vesture blocked off at least 10 to 12 damage, which would have gave DPM the game had that not been a Vesture there. So I think after seeing both decks in action, I want to say DPM has a better deck because of the 3 Miss of Avernus. So if she's able to start off with Miss like so, I think she is going to be off to a great start.
Right. Now I see that Farben here is all by himself. Did we get a double spawn in one of the lanes? No. Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Enchantress. That might be the lane to drop it.
Yeah, pretty good to drop a Miss on turn 1. Don't need to think too hard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, she starts off with that Thunderhide pack as well, so she doesn't have to worry about searching for it. Let's see. Nothing really to be done here. Oh, it's so good. That's so annoying.
Yeah. And the nice thing about that is Enchantress is going to be keeping your creeps alive. So eventually, you're going to be able to overrun this lane without committing any resource, honestly. I think DPM could safely deploy Farben into the middle lane and not worry too much about that last lane. She, in my eyes, already has that lane won. And that is the power of Miss. You only need to play 1 card, and incrementally, it's going to give you enough advantage to take over the game.
Agreed. Yeah, Enchantress is going to get pretty scary here as the game goes on. And Rayzo has Pike in the deck as well, so if he drops that on Enchantress, that's +2 attack every turn as well.
DPM is the one with the Enchantress.
Oh,
it looks like they have flipped their position. The game does do that sometime. So let's see how Rayzo is going to plan out the turn here. So, because Farben spawned next to Zeus, he could no longer play Tower Barrage to actually get the Zeus kill. Now that Zeus has 1 extra armor. So I personally think he will play essentially he'll spend his blue mana, or spend mana to play blue cards on the middle lane because he only has one blue hero right now, and then play his black cards elsewhere.
All right, yeah, Rayzo's deck can do some pretty scary things in the early game, but it seems that, at least for this game, DPM just has all the answers.
Yeah. I wonder if you Tower Barrage here and just take it down over the course of 2 turns, because this is a lot of damage. You don't want to let them run crazy here.
Yeah, very true. So let's see. Enchantress up to 6. She's taken she was going to take a lot of damage, but the Prowler Vanguard's going to pull that pressure away from her.
And the Prowler Vanguard doesn't even die because of the Enchantress regen, so that is sad. Ooh, there is a Helm of the Dominator. DPM can spend a gold to hold it, but probably not the best choice. I think it's better to actually just go through your own item deck and buy some of these smaller, more consequential items for now.
That would be a... Well, no, Rayzo decides to send Earthshaker to the right, and DPM is sending her Skywrath to the left lane. And she's sitting on that Stonehall plate, but that's not going to prevent her from dying. How many Prowler Vanguards does DPM have in her deck?
Well, she's
holding all of them.
She's got 2 Farvin, so I could count that for you. She's got 6 in the deck and 4 in hand. She's drawn 5 of them so far, and I gotta say, drawing 5 Farvin is... Actually, I think she's drawn all of them so far, right? There's 1 here, there's 1 over there, and 4 more in hand. She literally drew all of them.
That's amazing. That's astronomical odds for that to happen. We might see the Skywrath ability played here.
No, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference on combat, so DPM decides to not play it. And let's see, Tower Barrage seems pretty good here.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of money going into the coffers for Rayzo right there.
Ooh. So, hey, how about another Vanguard?
All the Prowler Vanguards in hand.
Honestly, I think playing a Prowler Vanguard in front of Prelix is actually actively bad, because now there is a 0 attack unit not pressuring Prelix, and she gets to just sit here for a while and generate extra creeps. So, not sure if I agree with that play from DPM, but I mean, look, if your hand only has Prowler Vanguard, sometimes you just have to play Prowler Vanguards.
Yeah. So as we move into this right lane, well, she has an option of Prowler.
I guess you play more Prowler Vanguard.
Giving the Prowler Vanguard armor.
I mean, you might as well. What you're thinking on right now is where you're playing it, either on the left or the right. Or you're respecting the fact that Rayzo could have a way to kill your Prowler Vanguard, and you want to save it to block. Looks like... Go ahead.
He could, or I'm sorry, DPM could be saving her... Well, she plays one now, but I was going to say she had... I can't remember the name of the card that gave Enchantress that regen whenever she played a green card.
Oh, Soul Spring.
Hold on to that. Yeah, Soul Spring, that's it. If she held on to her Vanguard waiting for that to show up, that would be pretty okay in my opinion.
I think generally it's a good idea to just play cards instead of actually just waiting to draw the other piece. And because you might not know if you ever draw the other piece, right?
Exactly. So here we go. DPM inching ever closer. Ooh, gets a Mystic Flare. She could take out this Necro right now.
Yeah. Rayzo has initiative, and he plays a short sword instead, so the Mystic Flare is going to come out. He had to open it up with the cloak. And that is a pretty key mistake that he just made.
Yeah, that was a pretty big misplay, if I'm honest, because now he's done in that lane.
Yep.
There's nothing left for him to do.
And that's one of those mistakes that he could have easily avoided, but...
Yeah. Live and learn.
Alright. Has initiative. Unfortunately for Rayzo, the arrow is going to come in to challenge Prelix. And Prelix can get herself out of harm's way by using Cunning Plant.
I'll give Rayzo some card draw as well, which is never a bad thing. Oh, he drops the sword on the Farvin, and Cunning Plant comes out.
Yeah. So viewers might be asking, why did he need a Cunning Plant instead of playing like a Barracks or something? The key thing is that Mana 7's coming up, and you want to keep your heroes above 4 health. Thunder God is a card that you definitely want to play around.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking at that Thunderstorm, and that's with all these Prowler Vanguards, it's not going to get a lot of value, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Oh, it's not bad here, actually.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good Thunderstorm. No armor in that lane, just a lot of attack, and he opens up 15 damage into this lane, so that was a really smart play from Rayzo right there.
I think against this deck, that was the best Thunderstorm you will see. It doesn't really get any better than that. So, glad to see that he was able to cash in that value.
DPM just cycling through her item deck at this point.
Yeah.
Those creeps are starting to build up, though, for Rayzo.
On the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's getting to be a pretty big lane, especially with that that barracks there. And if he's sitting on another barracks right now, so he could double up on the barracks in that right lane.
Yeah. I gotta say, Rayzo has played this game, apart from that one misplay on the middle lane, he has played the right lane really well. Generally, a lot of players, when they see a turn 1 miss, they just get scared and they don't want to fight anymore. But because that he's actually fought so much, DPM has to deploy a second hero into the lane, which you generally don't want to because you have missed. So, a lot of pressure is laid on by Rayzo.
Definitely. And DPM's definitely going to have to check that right lane, because if that lane gets wide enough, that Disciple of Nevermore is going to be a giant problem all of a sudden.
Yep. Ventriloquy will come out here, so gives a unit taunt targeting the creep, so instead of hitting Farvin, the arrow got directed to the right. No accent will kill the creep, so now the arrow will get redirected right back onto Farvin. Very nicely done.
Yes, big brain play right there.
I'd like to see Rayzo actually play the second Heartstopper Aura as well. One Heartstopper Aura, pretty good, 2 AoE damage. The second one, though, is the big deal because it cleanly kills any melee creep that spawns in any of the 3 slots next to Debbie. So.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to go that route here real quick. I mean, he could probably... It wouldn't be the best play, but he could play the Agladi in front of the Prowler, and that'll eventually take the Prowler out, reducing armor across the board. Kind of.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Heartstopper will also take this out, though, if you know.
It's the Legion of Farvins, really, in this deck. That's what I'm going to call this draft from DPM to Legion of Farvin.
With the 3 miss.
Yeah, 3 missed, 4 Prowler Vanguards, 2 Farvins. It's armor-tastic.
Well, DPM is really running it low on cards. We're going to see Barracks being deployed left and right. She will have a very powerful play next turn, but I think this turn she's mostly just sitting and passing.
Yeah, that's all. Really looking at her hand. That's all she has to do this turn. I mean, she's sitting on a bolt. She's sitting on a Thunderhide. She's sitting on an Arcane Assault. So if for some reason Rayzo, like right now, took initiative, she can take it back in a few turns when that bolt is up.
Let's see. Rayzo perhaps thinking about using Echo Slam for 4 damage. Well, 3 now, because there is 1 armor and everything. Oh, gonna
Oh,
pop off a Heartstopper Aura. You know, honestly, like the Heartstopper Aura better on the left hero, and then the Oglodi Vandal personally would have done a little bit better here instead. So,
yeah. I can see that. That's a really good point. Fissure is up, but it's not going to do anything, so Rayzo making the right choice and holding it.
well, he could actually play the Disciple, which will deal 2 more damage to the Skywrath Mage. And then the Heartstopper would finish it off with the upkeep kill. So Rayzo could have played it that way as well, but opting to save the Disciple. Again, it's very dangerous to play it and give your whole board -2 armor.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about, is if he did play that Disciple, Debbie would be in a lot of danger, especially next turn. That whole board would be in a lot of danger now that I'm thinking about it. But man, all these creeps.
Yeah, Barracks is a hell of a card. Adds up very quickly. DPM needs to find a Thunder God's Wrath, because that will give her 2 kills on both Debbies, in fact.
Will she get it?
No, she will not.
She does get a Soul of Spring and a Mist of Avernus out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to make that right lane even beefier if she decides to play it there. She does need a way. She's got Town Portal Scrolls. So she can probably get that that unit out in the right lane.
DPM is just in a really awkward spot because she will lose the tower now to the Oglodi Vandal. The problem for her is she can't just leave. You can't just TP out with Zeus because, again, you know your opponent has Disciples. You know they have Oath in the deck, so if you do leave, you just get 80'd. So, it's unfortunately for her, it's not a really good turn. This here, though, she could drop Thunderhide. Finally, that's an impactful play.
Right, yeah, she'll have to drop it in front of the... So, I mean, she'll get that siege damage, but like you just said, it's mid lane will then be a problem for Rayzo.
Otherwise, DPM could play Blacksmith and then play Mist of Avernus. DPM getting a little greedy. She wants to see what Rayzo does and then react. But Rayzo's just gonna pass. So 8 mana pass on both players. I think that favors, honestly, Rayzo, because Rayzo doesn't need to play anything, whereas I feel like DPM is behind. Echo Slam's going to kill everything here, and not exactly the game, because DPM holds on with 12 health, or 2 health, rather, but I think effectively this game is over.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good for DPM this game. Rayzo just making really smart plays across the board, making great use of the barracks and everything like that, despite the really strong opening from DPM.
Yeah. I think the critical thing about this game is that DPM's draws were, apart from the turn 1 miss, pretty terrible. She had nothing but Prowler Vanguards, and her only other really strong play was the Dimensional Portal, which got answered by double Tower Barrage. So, felt like Rayzo had answers to pretty much everything.
Yeah, he's drafted himself a really strong blue-black deck here. And even the Earthshaker is working out really well for him. And that's not a card you see a whole lot. That Echo Slam last turn, just wiping that left lane and letting them take it.
Yep. DPM does not have any tower healing in the deck, so this game is effectively over. The other thing about this deck, it seems like DPM's, it just takes towers very slowly, unless you have those mists going.
It's a shame she taps out right there.
Yep.
It's a shame she didn't get a hold of that Aghanim Sanctum right there. She could have dropped the Thunderhide and done some other shenanigans, but it looks like the Legion of Farvin has fallen, at least in this game.
Yep, and in this series, DPM's not out of this tournament just yet. She will come back at round 4, playing against the loser of the next series, which is Game King and Prismaticism. This series should be coming up, let me see, in about 8 minutes. So we'll take a break, and next up we got Game King versus Prismaticism. See you in a bit.